Hello, this is Andrew, founder and CEO of Vendium Global. The topic of this video is relocation vendor partnership and how to make it a winning team. Once a company makes the decision to outsource a segment of their mobility function, it can be an interesting flow. Your service providers are acting as an internal team, and management of such can be a challenge. The first thing to understand is the compliance piece. Co-employment can be a challenge, especially if your relocation vendor sits on site with your team. When establishing your relationship and putting together contracts, it is essential to clearly state what will and will not be performed by your relocation vendor. Many contracts have the traditional service level agreement items and a section for surcharges in the event that additional services are required. It is essential to understand the contents of this agreement so you do not overstep. It is just as important for you to know what is in the contract as what's not. The reasons are many. But one example is a client that we supported who understood that their relocation vendor was collecting FAPIAOs, and they weren't. A FAPIAO is a document showing a tax payment in China, and is required for tax compliance. This was not part of the service agreement, so for 3 years, this Fortune 500 company was out of compliance. This is just one example of how a simple misunderstanding of the level of support can create a much larger issue down the line. Relocation management companies. It is your responsibility to educate your clients. They should know your timelines, what their employees will experience, and what all of the moving parts are. Knowledge of how things work behind the scenes may have avoided the issue with our client and the FAPIAO collection. And corporate mobility teams. Take the time to teach your relocation vendor about your culture. Include them in on communications, company news, and team events when possible. Treat them as a member of your team, and as a member of your greater team. Things such as reporting will take a different spin. Your department needs the right information at the right time, and without a close connection, your relocation vendor is guessing at what information you need. This brings us to the third piece, cohesiveness. The 3 most stressful parts of someone's life are death, divorce, and relocation. Your relocation vendor is assisting your employees during this trying time, and I often joke, ensuring the other 2 do not happen. Structure your relationship as being a single unit. You are all working towards the same goal and have the same definition of success. Treat them with the same respect and friendliness that you would with someone in your organization. A major reason for partnership failures is when there's a client-contractor relationship. Now, what I'm describing here is maintaining things at an overly formal and direct basis. It could be even condescending at times. These types of relationships drive tension and bad feelings. There shouldn't be this level of power distance when working together. Quite the opposite is true when acting as a single team. Respect and candidness allow for free flowing of information, both good and bad, so issues can be addressed promptly. If something goes wrong, treat the news as if the person sitting next to you said it. Work to fix things promptly together and develop long-term solutions to ensure it does not occur again. With this, survey feedback becomes a chance for calibration versus scolding. Ultimately, your information feedback loop with your relocation vendor is what will determine the success of the relationship. It is your role to foster an ecosystem for this feedback to be shared. When taking care of something as important as your employees, we want everyone as happy and comfortable as possible. Connect with us today and let us help you build a much stronger relationship with your relocation vendor.